all for coming, and Hawla, you can now take on the floor, please.
Thank you, Ismail, to our viewers out there that are watching us live on Facebook. You're welcome. You're welcome to the Green Talk Show. My name is Hawla Safina, and I will be your host tonight. And for those of you that are already logged in, you can simply share the link. You can share the link to your friends out there so that they can come in and join us right now, because we will be starting and we won't last for long, simply because we have the presidential address coming in at 8 p.m. and we surely should be there to watch what the president has to tell us on how we have to fight COVID-19 in our country. Our show will be on other days. Our show will be airing every Friday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Facebook. This show is brought to you by the UNDP together with Myco Initiative Uganda, an NGO based in Uganda. To briefly give you what the Green Talk Show is, the Green Talk Show is an environmental themed show that is here to make an enormous difference towards environmental conservation by everyone. It could be the young, it could be the old, it could be anyone in every kind of category. We will be having in speakers that will be coming in to discuss different topics, as we will see earlier on. Today, the speakers that we have speakers that will be coming in. We have Ismail Tamale. He's the co-founder of Myco Initiative. We have Musa Kayondo. He's the president of Musawu. Musawu is the Muslim Students Association of Uganda, and he happens to be the general secretary of Myco Initiative. Again, we will be having in a lady. Her name is Rowena Atuhaire. She's the president of LIFT. She will be telling us what LIFT is. She's also the communications manager of Myco Initiative. For those of you that have noticed, today we have most of the speakers we have today are from Myco Initiative. We also have Daniel Trevor. He's a writer, and he's also the head of Myco Initiative's Schools 3-Day program. We also have Shadia Benaya. She's the public relations manager of Myco Initiative. So for today, we will be discussing why we should choose green when it comes to one's choice and lifestyle. I mean, we make a lot of choices in our lives. People have made different choices in their life, but these happen to have an impact on our environment. So on this show, we will be talking green. How are these choices that we make affecting our environment? You could have made a choice to stay in the wetland. How is this impacting our environment? You might have made a choice to do something that is going to be polluting the environment. How is this choice that you're making going to affect our environment? Again, our daily lifestyle. We will have Ismail. He will be giving us what Myco Initiative is. Ismail, if you're there, please come in and tell us what Myco Initiative is. Tell us what the Green Talk Show is, and why should anyone out there be looking forward to watching the Green Talk Show. Ismail, if you're there, please take on the platform.
All right. Thank you so much, the host. I'm so humbled to speak at this great talk show and at the first episode. My name is Ismail Tamale, and I work as the co-founder at Myco Initiative Uganda. I'm really happy and humbled that as a team of Myco Initiative, we were able to come up with this talk show, a platform that people of all ages can use to make a difference, not just on their immediate environment, but also to their lifestyles. Yes, the Green Talk Show is an online engagement program. It's a webinar series program that Myco Initiative created in partnership with the United Nations Development Program to inspire and educate and give a platform to different people across the country on how they can live a sustainable life, more so amidst this difficult time of COVID-19. So the Green Talk Show is here to give us an opportunity to share as the youth and the rest of the people to share on how we can live a sustainable life that is impacting positively the environment, yes, but also a life that we can use and gain financially, yes. So the Green Talk Show will give a platform to all environmentalists out there and climate change activists who are really doing incredible work out there in protecting the environment. Today we are having Myco Initiative team, but on the coming episodes, this show will have 17 episodes in total. Every show will be running every Friday. I can come and talk about tree planting today. Next week, someone comes and talks about making paper bags instead of making buveras. Then the next time, someone can come and talk about making charcoal briquettes or making charcoal lighters or growing vegetables, something like that. And then we shall also use this platform as youth to share solutions that are not only mitigating environmental issues in our communities, but also even financial issues. For example, this platform of the Green Talk Show shall be used by all people who have solutions that are saving the environment to come and share with us how they're running these green businesses in their communities. We look forward to have people come here and talk about how they are recycling plastics, how they are planting trees, what kind of trees, which species. We need to see people talk about how they are doing environmental awareness. If you don't have space at your home, you can just be advocating for the planet out there. So this is a platform for all people to come and share with the rest of the world. Also, we shall use this platform to have institutional leaders share with us what institutions within the government, within the private sector, and the United Nations, what they are doing out there to save the environment and to also support environmental initiatives. For example, next week, I'll let the host make that announcement, but next week you shall have different and very prominent representatives from the UN who will come here and share with the youth on how the UN is supporting environmental initiatives. So this is a platform where we shall have to interact and share about how all of us can protect the environment even in simple ways. I love to end with a quote that goes that it's not in the biggest of gestures that change happens, but actually it's in the smallest steps and those small actions that we take that really create impact and can even lead to bigger changes in our communities and in our lives. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Ismail. I noticed here we are having people. We have people that are watching us live on Facebook. Thank you all for watching in. As you've been told by Ismail, the youth should really take this up. And I should say, this is the first of its kind. It is really the first of its kind that is happening in our country. I do not know if you've seen any other show that is strictly environment. This is strictly environment. We are focused on our environment. We are talking green, and we are bringing everyone on board. So to whoever is watching us, feel free to contact us. Ismail has told you that the show will be bringing in people from different disciplines, the youth leaders from institutions. So please make sure that you contact us so that we can always get you to come here and tell people, give them their view on what you think should be done to protect and conserve our environment. As I told you earlier on, we have a number of speakers on board. I'll be calling on Mohsin Musa. He'll be giving us more info on who he is, what he does, and he will be telling us what is the potential in integrating a green mindset to Ugandans, especially at a time like this, at a time where we have COVID-19, at a time where we've been locked up for so many days, for so many weeks. It has even gotten to months where everything is on a standstill. So he will be telling us what is the potential in integrating a green mindset in the Ugandans at a time like this. Then how do we have to engage everybody to catch up with sustainable living? Mohsin, you can take on the flow.
Yes, thank you very much, Hala. I'd like to say I'm privileged to be part of this very first session of the Myco Initiative Green Talk Show. And as introduced, my name is Kayondo Mohsin Musa, and I am a student of computer engineering at Makerere University and the president of the Muslim Students Association of Uganda, as well as the general secretary for Myco Initiative. And I welcome you to this program. Yes, to dive right into the topic at hand, we're looking at a green lifestyle and asking ourselves as Ugandans, what is the potential for us to shift to a green lifestyle? First and foremost, awareness is one of the very key things, and that is what this platform is doing. So this is one of the steps towards us achieving a green lifestyle. Having more programs like this that can create awareness about what it means to live green. You know, the word green in another meaning actually means that someone has very little idea about what is going on. So if they say I'm green about so and so, it means you probably have very little knowledge about that topic. But I actually found out the reason that that is so is because when the plant is coming out of the soil, at that point when the shoot is still green, so the plant is still very young, and that is where the phrase comes from. But in our context, green lifestyle is talking about practices in our lives that reduce the negative impacts on the environment, right? And to do this, we, first of all, one of the things COVID-19 has shown us in this very difficult period is the fact that we need to be more resilient so that we can be able to cope with such crises. And therefore, that means that if we look at the current challenges facing the world during this pandemic time, if you look at the climate change effect in the different countries in Europe, in Asia, you see that it is I wouldn't say it is already late, but we still have a chance for the future because one scholar said that climate change is actually one of the biggest intergenerational crimes because we do what we do today, but in the future it affects our grandchildren. So it is a very big intergenerational crime. One of the other things that we need to look at to see that we start shifting our mindsets to a green lifestyle is the fact that, like Ismail mentioned, there are very many alternative options that allow us to do the same things we're doing today while they're not destroying our environment. So that shows that there's potential for us to actually live a green lifestyle, but also live in harmony with our environment. So we've seen the dangers of global warming. We've seen forests being cut down, and we're doing very little to do afforestation. So we have a lot, we have a long way to go, and we can really do a very big contribution if we each take it up upon ourselves. But furthermore, we also have to understand that it does not stand in isolation. It cannot just be an individual effort because governments have to come in and to play their role, make policies, institutions themselves. For example, Myco Initiative has the school tree planting program. So imagine if a program like that was taken up and made national, imagine the impact of that in years to come. So governments and other institutions have to come up and also play an equal role to ensure that we're able to live a very green lifestyle in the future. And maybe lastly, to end with the last question you asked, so how do we get people to catch up with sustainable living?
Yes.
Sustainable living in itself, if we look at, if we use the UN's SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, to sort of define what sustainable living would be, we see that it takes an intersection of very many things. The UN SDGs are 17. So there's education, there is climate, water on, they talk about life on land, life underwater, justice, health and well-being. So to live sustainably, basically what it shows us is that even to achieve a green lifestyle, then there are very many other sectors that need to be doing well. The education sector has to be doing well for us to achieve sustainable living. Our justice sector has to be doing the same. Otherwise, if someone can cut down trees and then they get off without any punishment or without any charge, then that means that in the end, our sustainable living has been affected. There's deaths due to hunger, there's inequality in income, there's a lot of poverty. So these are all things that need to be tackled in order for us to catch up with sustainable living. But at an individual level, each of us can become an advocate by creating awareness, but also making adjustments yourself to see how you've been doing things and what has the impact of that been, and what will the impact be in the future, so that you're able to adjust and ensure that you're handling this as an individual, but by creating awareness as well, that means you're bringing more people on board to see that we move towards a sustainable society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohsin. For our viewers out there, he's telling us we really have a long way to go, and that is definitely right. But how should we cut that? Let each and every one of us get on board. Planting a tree or maybe stopping someone from cutting down a tree does not take a lot. So we should really work towards protecting and conserving our environment. And just like he has said, it should not be an individual task. It is it goes up to the government, it goes to everyone that lives in our community. Mohsin, I have this simple question. What is really required of us to really accelerate our efforts in choosing a better lifestyle? What is really required of us to accelerate our efforts?
Yes. So Like I've earlier mentioned, first and foremost is the knowledge, because definitely a person that has knowledge and one that is ignorant cannot be the same. If people are
Yes.
ignorant about the fact that there are negative impacts of the actions that they're doing, then they cannot even think about taking the first step. So the first step is getting the knowledge, finding out the effects of the things that we're doing, and acknowledging that we are responsible for this. Because sometimes we have the knowledge but refuse to apply it. But if we accept that we are responsible for the changes that we're seeing today, for example, greenhouse gas emissions, if you accept that, uh, if you understand that shifting to an electric car is actually better for the environment, then I think you're going to take the decision
Yeah.
easily to do that. But if you're ignorant about the fact that slowly by slowly the gases being emitted by your car or in the factories, those fumes, or what they're releasing into the water, if you're ignorant about the fact that it's destroying the life in water and the life on land, then you'll never take action. So I feel like knowledge is one of the most important things. And after creating that awareness, and people now know that they have a responsibility to play, then it comes down to putting that into action. For example, if I'm an investor, if I've understood that there's an impact when I cut down a forest, then really when I come to invest in a country, or if I wanted to invest in my own country, I should not then again go and buy land that is forested and I seek to cut it down so that I set up my factory, because then
Yeah.
that would go against everything that we're trying to work towards and what we're trying to achieve. So the intersectionality of those two is really key, us knowing and then applying. Of course, there are very many challenges because a green economy and a green lifestyle cannot easily be achieved, because at one hand it may be expensive for some people because they'll
Yeah.
be running out of business. Yeah, but then I also think that is because they have chosen not to seek alternative options that are actually good for business and good for the environment.
Thank you. To our viewers that are watching us live from Facebook, please feel free to bring in your questions in the comment section. We will be reading them and then we will be giving you answers. For now, I'll call on Daniel. Daniel is a writer. He's also the head of My Tree Initiative's School's 3-day program. Daniel will be coming in to tell us the fact that we are aware, most people are definitely aware of the environmental crisis that is happening in our country. What can we do to make this right? What should really be done by the different individuals? Is it the individuals that should take this on? Should the government come in any way or the other? So he's coming in to tell us what can we do to make this right. Daniel, you can take on the platform.
Yes, thank you for having me. But let me first start by providing some facts and some data to really prove that there's a need. Researchers have shown that by 2050, if we do not do something, how we see Earth
2050.
uh, within movies like floodings, uh, barren land. There's no like plant life starts to vanish. That is what we're actually uh, moving towards. So the average human being produces roughly 27 tons of CO2 per year. Now, daily we produce 2.3 pounds, and then that's a lot because we're 7 billion
Yeah,
worldwide, so
definitely.
every single one, and we all produce whether we like it. So now what can we do? At my tree, we are
Yeah.
concentrating mostly with planting trees. Now, some facts there. Now, a fully grown tree, what type it is, it shall roughly take in 21 kgs uh, uh, per day. Now, depending on the type and size, a fully grown tree, it can produce enough air for 18 people. So now having a fully grown tree, and trees take 5, 6, and sometimes, so that's a lot. So by building back forests, by restoring wetlands, we are fighting this. Now, uh, to move down smaller, roughly 4 to 5 small trees, they are
Mm.
they can sufficiently provide uh, uh, um, what one human needs. So now, for the program that uh, 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 for my school training, we we shall have 100 learners, and each of them shall be provided one tree. So now, with this knowledge so
No.
far, that when these trees are fully grown, or 100 of these trees, they can provide enough air for 180 people, and that is what we are providing them. So now we shall be
Yes.
providing knowledge. Now, the most important thing people need is knowledge. Why are we doing this? How can we do this? We can make briquettes, because briquettes learn, no, they roughly burn one. Okay, okay, they burn slightly longer than charcoal, plus they are cheaper to make, and they are friendly, and that is what we really need here. So now, we cannot wait to really take and say that we should start now, what and stuff, because um, by the time people start to really see the worst effects, because worldwide we're seeing heat domes, we're seeing flooding, we're seeing melting ice, and you should know that as of right now, Africa is contributing the least, but within some good time, we are going to be suffering from this the most. So, us as a country, us as the youth, we should not wait until the worst of this comes, because by 2050, and that's roughly 29 years from now. Right now, my age is 17. By the time 2050 comes, um, I'll be mid 40s. So that means that I still will have a long life to live, and I wouldn't want something like this to really haunt me later on, knowing that I could have done something now. So first and foremost, we need to arm the people with knowledge. We need to plant more trees, because they are fighting this. As we know, they are absorbing, they are helping maintain how things should be. We have briquettes, we have wind power, not just things related to what we are doing right now, like planting trees, but there's many things like wind power, there's solar. So we should encourage people to learn how to take part with such things, because at the end of the day, we shall give the next people who will come after us, and then also us ourselves, because the worst of climate change will happen within our lifespan. So that is my take, because we need to really take action here. We cannot wait for things to become so worse and then people really say we should have done this, we should have done that. No, you can start small just by planting one tree, just by telling people that that you should you should reduce how much power you consume. You should use your fuel wisely. So when